This is your communication podcast with Teresa.
Hello, Schnuckies! We have just discussed the fact that negotiating parties ought to be versed in the dynamics of negotiation. And a good starting point is to recognize that different people have different negotiation styles. Yes, there is a particular process that you have to go through, especially with multilateral negotiations. But let's first have a look at the individual and how they actually differentiate themselves. There are 4 different styles that you please need to know about: the factual negotiation style, the intuitive style, the analytical style, and the normative style. I think the factual negotiation style pretty much says it all. These people are cool, calm, collected, down-to-earth, patient, very present-orientated, so they're not speculating about the future much. And they're usually very well prepared. They usually have the evidence in the bag and they can bring it out at any time. Even though you might be this particular person naturally, you also need to recognize that these negotiation styles might actually be required of you based on the situation that you find yourself in. So even though you might be more of an intuitive negotiator, if you know that you are meeting somebody who appreciates a factual style, give that to them. Be able to cater to them. If you do come into contact with somebody who wants you to be factual, you can do the following things. Obviously, be very precise with your facts and make sure that you have the sources of your facts. Rather stick to the present and the past. Do not talk about the future. As I said, these factual negotiators do not speculate about what's happening next. Your reasoning should be more inductive. Remember, inductive reasoning moves from specific premises to general conclusions, and that's exactly what the factual negotiator's thought process is like. And of course, if you are meeting somebody like that, know your ish. The second style, the intuitive style, guys. Here we are dealing with somebody who is listening to their gut, who is charismatic, who has a certain dynamism, who has a strong imagination. And of course, you can hear, if you have imagination, you are very future-oriented. The problem is with these intuitive negotiators is that they like to jump from one idea to the next. They love to go off on a tangent, and they are more deductive in the way they are unraveling their negotiations. Once again, you might not be this kind of a person, but whenever you actually have to envision plans and goals, then the intuitive style should be in your repertoire. Once again, we give you some tips and tricks, and it says here, if you want to match or mirror this kind of a person, make sure that you are having a holistic view on a topic. Make sure that you are putting yourself into future scenarios. Creatively link the aspects of a problem. So let your imagination flow and be creative in what you're doing. Intuitive negotiators do not consider things for very long. So be a little bit more quick in your reactions, and then also make sure that you are getting a nice brainstorming flow or just a flow of idea going where you're bouncing off each other. The third style, the analytical style, is more reminiscent of the factual style. However, it is slightly different because the analytical negotiation style doesn't just rely on facts, it relies on reasoning. I want you to go back to the Toulmans of this world and the Aristotles and the syllogisms and the enthymemes that are attached to Aristotle, because this person analyzes a situation, looks at cause and effect relationships, looks at a scenario more mechanistically, because this person tries to understand processes. They are also quite keen to perform cost and benefit analyses, and they are very unemotional. I say it again, you might not be an analytical negotiator, but if you ever meet one, make sure logic, logic, logic. Be logical in the way you're unraveling your argument. Also, you want to look at cause and effect relationships, correlations, and causation is what an analytical person likes a lot. To analyze something, to look at the traits of parts and to look at the characteristics of parts, of course, takes a lot of time. So you need to be patient with these people. Also, cost benefit, pros, cons, advantages, disadvantages. Look at these things and you will please an analyst. The last negotiation style is the normative style. And as I've said to you so many times before, when you are seeing the word normative, you are usually in the realm of the ideal. What is the ideal situation going forward? So this kind of a person judges, assesses, and evaluates facts according to a set of personal values. And of course, an ideal way of negotiating is to make concessions, is to bargain, is to offer rewards and incentives, and to actually come up with a true collaboration or a true compromise. What kind of skills should you portray if you are confronted with a normative negotiator? Make sure you are appealing to their feelings. It's a very biased person. They are going back to their values. They are going back to their feelings. They're going back to their norms. You need to do the same. Also, compromise is very important for this person, so be ready for it. You also want to be very interested. You want to be very positive. You want to be very enthusiastic about the negotiation. And the most important thing is, of course, the relationship basis when you are in this kind of a negotiation scenario. Now that we know all the styles and the skills that you require, I'm sure you will never ever have a problem again confronting different people with different ideas of negotiation ever again.
I hope you enjoyed it, Schnookies. Until next time, bye!